Have you ever felt that a man's actions don't quite match his words? Perhaps he says all the right things, but something about his behavior leaves you questioning his true intentions. Unfortunately, some men may enter a relationship with hidden motives, seeking to use a woman rather than value her genuinely. This isn't about paranoia or overthinking. It's about recognizing red flags before they lead to heartbreak. The truth is, actions speak louder than words. While anyone can make promises or paint a rosy picture with their words, behaviors reveal the truth. If you find yourself in a relationship where you feel undervalued, it's essential to examine the signs objectively. Does he only call when he needs something? Does he dismiss your feelings or fail to invest in your happiness? This guide will explore 6 key behaviors that might indicate a man is using you, paired with actionable solutions to help you navigate these situations with clarity and confidence. By the end, you'll have a better understanding of what to look for and how to ensure you're treated with the respect and love you deserve. Let's dive in. 1. He only reaches out when he needs something. One of the clearest signs that a man may be using you is if his communication is inconsistent and self-serving. For instance, he might only call or text when he needs a favor, emotional support, or even financial help. When things are going well for him, he's nowhere to be found, but the moment he faces a challenge, he's back in your life. Consider Emily's story. She dated a man who often went silent for days, only to resurface when he needed help with his work projects or wanted someone to vent to. Initially, Emily thought his behavior was due to a busy schedule. However, over time, she realized that their interactions were entirely on his terms. He was never there when she needed support. This behavior can leave you feeling used and unimportant. Over time, it creates an imbalance where you're constantly giving while receiving little in return. It can also lead to emotional burnout, as you feel responsible for solving his problems without getting the same consideration in your times of need. Solution: set clear boundaries and observe his reaction. The next time he reaches out with a request, calmly explain, "I feel like our communication is one-sided. I'd like us to have a more balanced relationship where we support each other." If he's genuinely interested in the relationship, he'll reflect on his actions and make an effort. If not, it's a sign to reconsider the connection. 2. He avoids defining the relationship. A man who is using you will often dodge conversations about commitment. He may enjoy the perks of the relationship without offering clarity about where it's headed. For example, he might say things like, "Let's not put a label on this," or "I just want to go with the flow." This lack of definition can leave you feeling uncertain and insecure, as you're investing time and energy without knowing if he's truly serious about you. Avoiding commitment allows him to benefit from the relationship without being held accountable for its future. Men who avoid defining relationships may also keep their options open. They might be reluctant to fully commit because they're not sure if they want to settle down with you or if they're still exploring other possibilities. This uncertainty can prevent you from moving forward and leave you feeling stuck. Solution: have an honest conversation about your expectations. You might say, "I'm looking for a relationship where we are both clear about our intentions. How do you see this progressing?" If he continues to dodge the question or gives vague answers, it's worth reconsidering whether he's genuinely invested in you. 3. He dismisses your needs and feelings. A man who doesn't respect you may downplay or ignore your emotions. For example, if you bring up something that's bothering you, he might accuse you of being dramatic or overreacting. Over time, this can erode your confidence and make you question your own feelings. Let's look at MIA's situation. She often felt unheard in her relationship. Whenever she tried to discuss her concerns, her boyfriend would sigh and say, "You're making a big deal out of nothing." This constant dismissal made MIA feel isolated and undervalued. This behavior creates an unhealthy dynamic where your needs are always secondary. Dismissing your feelings not only invalidates your emotions, but also undermines the trust and communication necessary for a healthy relationship. Over time, you might find yourself suppressing your emotions to avoid conflict. Solution: stand firm in expressing your emotions. Use I statements to avoid sounding accusatory, such as, "I feel upset when my concerns are dismissed because it makes me feel unheard." If he's unwilling to validate your feelings or make an effort to change, it's a red flag that he's not prioritizing your well-being. 4. He makes everything about himself. Does he dominate conversations, rarely asking about your life or interests? A man who's using you often centers everything around himself, whether it's his achievements, problems, or desires, your needs and experiences take a backseat. For example, during dinners, you might notice he spends most of the time talking about his work while barely acknowledging your day. Over time, this self-centered behavior can leave you feeling invisible. A relationship where one person consistently takes the spotlight creates an imbalance. It may also suggest a lack of genuine interest in your life and well-being. This behavior can make you feel unappreciated and lead to resentment over time. Solution: redirect the conversation to include your perspective. Say something like, "I've noticed we spend a lot of time discussing your day. I'd love to share what's been happening in my life too." If he shows genuine interest and starts to balance the dialogue, it's a positive sign. If not, consider whether this relationship meets your emotional needs. 5. He shows little effort in the relationship. Effort is a cornerstone of any healthy relationship. If you find that you're the one initiating plans, solving problems, and keeping the relationship afloat, it's a sign of imbalance. A man who's using you will often let you do all the work while contributing the bare minimum. Take Sarah, for example. She noticed that she was always the one planning dates, buying thoughtful gifts, and checking in on her partner. Meanwhile, he rarely reciprocated, offering excuses like being busy or not good at that sort of thing. Over time, this lack of effort can lead to feelings of frustration and exhaustion. Relationships thrive on mutual investment, and when one person consistently does all the work, it creates an unhealthy dynamic. Solution: communicate your desire for mutual effort. Say, "I value relationships where both people contribute equally. It would mean a lot if you planned our next date or surprised me in some way." If he's unwilling to step up, it's a clear indication that he's taking advantage of your efforts. 6. He keeps you away from his inner circle. A man who is using you may avoid introducing you to his friends and family. He might make excuses like, "I like to keep my relationships private," or "my family is complicated." While privacy is important, consistent avoidance of involving you in his life is a red flag. For instance, if you've been dating for months and he still hasn't invited you to meet his close friends, it's worth questioning why he's hesitant to integrate you into his world. Keeping you at a distance from his inner circle could suggest that he's not serious about the relationship or is hiding something. It prevents you from forming deeper connections and seeing how he interacts with those closest to him. Solution: address your concerns directly. Say, "I've noticed we don't spend time with your friends or family. I'd like to be part of that aspect of your life." If he continues to make excuses or becomes defensive, it may signal that he's not fully invested in the relationship. Conclusion: recognizing these behaviors can be painful, but it's the first step toward building healthier relationships. If you've noticed any of these signs, take time to reflect on whether your needs are being met. Remember, love and respect should always be mutual. By addressing these red flags with honesty and self-respect, you'll either inspire positive changes or gain the clarity to move on. You deserve a relationship built on genuine care, effort, and mutual appreciation. Trust yourself, set boundaries, and never settle for less than your worth.